Hello, 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 Gemini. This is Adrian Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology. Look inside, and I am coming to you at the last minute with your horoscope for April. Just scrambling together to get something for you guys. Okay, so there's a lot going on in April, so I want to make sure I get this to you and everyone. So I'm scrambling getting it to you. There is going to be some emphasis for you Geminis in the month of April. And this is because, well, as of today, the 31st of March, Mars is now in Gemini. So happy April to you, Geminis. It is action, what is it? Ready, camera, action, or ready, set, go, or lights, camera, action. That's it. Lights, camera, action. Mars in the first house, Mars in Gemini. It's in the early degrees, and it just means that you're going to be more of yourself. You'll feel an urge to communicate. And, I feel like you're probably really going to feel that urge to communicate. I'm going to say after the 17th, but you might, yeah, I think so, after the 17th. Because what will happen is Mercury is going to be moving, I think, pretty quickly, and I think it's going to. I don't know if it'll catch up. Let me see. When does Mercury? May 6th. It might. I think it does. I think it will. It will. So what happens is Mercury is going to be going into Aries. Okay. And it's in Pisces now, and it's going to be going into Aries. And when it gets in that, it's going to be moving pretty quickly because Mercury is one of those fast moving signs like the moon. And so what'll happen is along the way, Mercury is going to make some type of connection, like a sextile with that Gemini Mars in your first house. And it's going to be coming from the 11th house of hopes and dreams and wishes and friends. Well, that's great. It might be a little shaky in the beginning of the month because, there is going to be that natural square, or at least that vibe of a square coming from the 10th house because, it starts out the month with Venus in the 10th house, Mercury in the 10th house, Neptune in the 10th house, all in Pisces, and it might feel a little bit confusing or overwhelming. But as they start to drift out of Pisces and go into Aries, that's making a natural sextile to you, Geminis. And you're going to feel that, especially with Mars being in the first house. It's going to feel kind of pleasant. Now, the thing is, on the 5th of the month, there is going to be a new moon in Aries, and that's actually supporting you too. So I think with Mars in the early degrees and the moon being at 15 degrees, Geminis are going to feel that one way or another. It's going to be, I think, a new beginning for a lot of Geminis. You're going to feel that with your, whatever those desires are, whatever your hopes and dreams and wishes are. Maybe something you're doing with groups or associations, perhaps groups that you're participating with on Facebook, or perhaps some goal or dream or plan that you have for yourself. You'll be able, hopefully, to make that into fruition in the month of April, at least during those early portions of April. Then, as I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of changes going on in the month of April. So it doesn't seem like anything's going to remain stagnant at all for just about anyone, especially you, Gemini, with Mars sitting on the first house. Things are going to be going pretty fast for you. It's just going to be boom, 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 boom. One thing after the next, after the X, after the X, after the next, after the next, after the next. And this is because a lot of the emphasis is going to be on the side of your chart that has, well, your personality, your persona. And Mars is there at, well, telling you to be more you. And so you might feel that urge and might feel the need to be a little bit more aggressive even in the month of April. I would watch out for aggressive activity. I would just be cautious about being aggressive to people. I mean, I can see where you might get angry, especially with the Aries moon, and then there's going to be Mercury in Aries, and then we're going to have Venus in Aries, and I could, you got Uranus sitting in the 12th house of the subconscious mind, and spiritual stuff and dreams, and I could see where communication could get a little weird with that Aries and the Mars in the first house. So be careful of that, of coming on too strong or being a little bit too upset, or, you know, verbally, because it's all coming out of the mouth. And well, it's Gemini and it's Mars. And so I would be cautious of that in the month of April. That Uranus in the 12th house is going to affect your dreams, though. I really do believe that. And I hope that it's not coming out in the way where you're maybe drinking more, partying more, doing more drugs or stuff like that. Be careful of things like pills, illicit sex, cheating on your partner, those type of things, drinking too much, waking up not knowing where you are, that kind of thing. The North Node is in Cancer in the second house, which is kind of good because it's telling me that perhaps settling down and concentrating on money in a very serious way, not serious, but I would say with the mindset that you're going to look toward your future, like you're looking at your finances, perhaps putting away money for your home, or like if you're going to buy a home, or if you want to buy new furniture, or if you're learning how to save money or learning how to put money away, say in the bank. The North Node in Cancer is going to teach you how to make security the utmost thing in your life right now. And as a Gemini, you might not have made security your utmost priority, but that's what the North Node in the second house is here to teach you how to do. And you're going to learn that lesson. That's what it's here to do. Now, on the 20th, the moon is going to be going full in Libra, and that's in the house of romance, children, taking chances, gambling, risk taking, really, even entrepreneurial pursuits. So if you're someone who's in business for yourself and you're an entrepreneur, well, the full moon is going to be there, and that is actually going to be opposing some things there, because we're going to have that same day Venus goes into into Aries in the 11th house, and but it's not going to be opposing, so thank God we're fine with that. But you're going to feel that Libra in the 6th house. And anything about Libra in the 6th house, it makes people very diplomatic. You might be very good with negotiations, very good with arbitrations, and very diplomatic. One person I do know with this is my daughter. She has Venus in the 6th house, and she's very good at being like diplomatic and talking with people and coming up with proposals and trying to weigh things out between parties and things like that. So you might find that you become really proficient at that during the month of April, or especially after the 20th, when the sun is going to enter Taurus, which will be in your 12th house as well. And Venus is going to enter Aries. And then on the 19th, we have that full moon in Libra. And so there's going to be that going on there. So with the full moon in the 5th house, I would be cautious about getting overly emotional, either with your children or in the area of romance and love affairs. And with emphasis in the 12th house after the 20th, when this full moon comes out, it might have to do with romance and love affairs. So be aware of that. On the 10th of the month, I think I might have missed this. Jupiter is going to be going retrograde in Sagittarius. This is major. And Jupiter is going to be staying retrograde until August 11th. August 11th. That is your 7th house of partnerships, about relationships, and that is going retrograde. So anything could happen in the area of partnerships and relationships when Jupiter goes retrograde on the 10th of April. Be aware of this. Also, Saturn and Pluto are going to go retrograde in the month of April. It's more at the end of the month. Pluto goes retrograde on the 24th, and Saturn goes retrograde on the 29th. And, you know, it just is this time, it symbolizes that we need to review and just take a second look at a lot of different things. And for you, Gemini, with Jupiter in the 7th house, well, you might have to take a second look at your relationships first, starting around the 10th. And then when Pluto goes retrograde, you might have to take a second look at what you thought was power, or what you thought was definite in the area of money, or what you thought you would get from, say, your partner, or from partners, or from business dealings. And you might need to look at your legal documents as well, with Saturn going retrograde in this 8th house as well. Look at your legal documents, sign all paperwork, and get all things together that must be done. But I wouldn't be surprised that during this period between now and August, that you have to go back over your relationship too, because Jupiter is now retrograding in the 7th house, and there might be some issues that need to be dealt with in the area of partnerships, and that might be what's affecting the area of your partner's money, which is the 8th house. So, and also, you know, the 8th house is our ability to communicate on a deep level, and even like intimate conversations with our partner. And when these are retrograde, we might find that those intimate conversations with our partner kind of cease. They're not as great. So be aware of that. That could affect you as well. So anyway, this was my look at things. I might come back in the middle of the month with more information, maybe just, you know, less about all the changes and more about what's actually occurring in your life in the month of April. But I wanted to get all these aspects and degrees and things, or, you know, different changes and things that are going on in the month of April. I wanted to make sure I got that information to everyone. And I wish everyone much love and much light, and a wonderful April, and a beautiful Easter. And if you haven't already, please stop by our website or blog at astrologyalookinside.com. Please like our blog, subscribe there. Also, you can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Capricorntigress. And I invite you all to become patrons there. And then on Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/astrology-a-look-inside. And I also have a group on Facebook, which is facebook.com/astrology-a-look-inside, or excuse me, facebook.com/groups/astrology-a-look-inside. So you can find information there as well. So this is what I had to give today. It may not be that great, and it might not have that much information in it, because that's the way my mind has been thinking, and I don't know what's going on with my mind. I've got my progressed moon in Gemini, but I have felt like my mind has been like at half mast. So I wonder how many other Geminis feel that way, or people with Gemini moons, Gemini rising, or Gemini Venus. It might have a lot to do with all of that Pisces that we're, you know, been experiencing in March, and now with all the emphasis starting to move away from Pisces as of well, as early as, you know, the 17th, I guess, we'll start looking more, or not Pisces, but Aries. We'll be looking more at Aries and not Pisces. So there we go. All right, you guys. Well, this has been Capricorn Tigress. Much love and light to you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.